I'll try not to.
Talking to us, not to the camera.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and get that off. There we go.
Okay.
Oops. I gotta make this taller for you.
I'm just gonna move back a little bit.
Well, welcome everyone. We're so thankful that you were all able to come here this evening. And we'd like to invite you to other lectures that we'll be having on the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th of September. Each one, there are 8 laws of health, and each night we'll be doing 2, leading up to Walt Cross coming to speak with us live here at the Crosby Center. And I'd just like to open with a word of prayer, if you don't mind. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come here tonight. I pray that you'll please bless us, that we may learn the knowledge that you want to impart to us so that we can have healthier bodies. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So, there is, what we'd like to do first is there's an introduction video. These are just short clips of what Walt Cross has on some particular health subjects. And tonight we have an introduction, we have one on nutrition, and the other is on exercise. So we'll do a short presentation of both of these, and then we have some food to sample so you can get an idea of what a plant-based diet is like, and welcome. And and then we're here to help answer questions and talk about future meetings and things like that. So, welcome.
Are you ever tired or stressed out or looking for more energy? Or maybe you want to live longer so you can enjoy the grandkids, or maybe there's concern for health issues, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or maybe you just want to lose weight. Well, in this series, we're going to look at a system that can address this issue proactively. Many times in healthcare, we look at health concerns from a reactive standpoint. You've got a disease, and then you address the signs and the symptoms, but you don't get rid of the disease. Well, what we're going to take a look at is there ways that we can address your body through lifestyle so you don't possibly get the disease, so that you don't have the signs and symptoms. It's kind of like a piece of sandpaper. Let's say I took a piece of sandpaper and I'm rubbing my arm, and you come up and say, "Oh, honey, it's a bleeding." And I put some medicine on it. Well, yeah, it's bleeding and it's a hurting. And so you put some medicine on it, and then you leave, and I go to rubbing it again. And you come back up and you put some more medicine on it, and when you leave, I go to rubbing it again. Is it going to heal? Not at all. Not till I do what? I've got to stop using the sandpaper. And that's true in our life. There's certain lifestyles that we do, or certain behaviors that we do, that can cause disease. And in this series, we're going to take a look at what things those may be, but also what can we do to prevent those diseases by certain lifestyles. I'm on the fire department, and sometimes the guys, when they come in from fighting a fire, come back with the fire trucks to fill them with fuel, they're tired, and they could make a mistake and put diesel in a gas burner or put gas in a diesel burner. That's going to be a huge issue. I have a friend who has a car that got rebuilt by Mr. Petty, Richard Petty, and it's got 1,500 horsepower. Well, Mr. Petty said this car can no longer use regular gas or even the high-grade gas. It's got to be racing fuel, 115% octane. So in this series, we're going to look at the things that can make the body run well, but also reduce or even stop the things that can cause the body not to run well. So as we look at what to do, we're going to look at how we can make changes, that we can have that more energy, that we can address that stress. So I encourage you to come on back as we look at these basic steps, these basic keys on how to have a healthy body for you and your family.
Thank you. So I forgot to mention when, before opening up, that I'd just like to read the little bio as to who.
Is this what doing your laundry looks like? Wouldn't you love it if it looked...
Just like to read you the little bio that we have here on Walt Cross, who he is. It says, Walt Cross lives in the Smoky Mountains of eastern Tennessee, where he and his family serve their community with a small ministry called Appalachian Ministries. Through their health food store, they are able to provide lifestyle education and lectures in the local public school system, businesses, churches, and a one-on-one basis. Walt's formal education was what the situation is in your life, and he can offer some counsel on that. And when he comes here on the 6th and the 7th of October, we are going to have at the very end a question and answer session, so you will be able to speak with him directly when he does come. So just wanted to make sure that I got that information out to you folks. And hi, my name's Debbie. Deborah. Nice to meet you, Deborah. Thank you. There's some recipes in there. Yeah, and so the next one's going to be on nutrition.
One of the most important keys to helping our bodies to run well is the fuel that we put into our bodies. And we talked about the fire trucks, we talked about that car that had 1,500 horsepower. What about the human body? What is the fuel that makes our bodies run the best? No, we don't want to put kerosene in our cars. We don't want to put poor-grade fuel in our cars. When I was a boy, I remember my dad would choose a certain gas station because the other gas stations had a propensity to have water in their fuel, and that would cause the cars to knock and not run well. And so he would choose this certain gas station in Chattanooga to get the fuel, and our cars ran well. Well, the question is, what fuel makes the human body run well? Yes, we can probably guess what the bad fuels are. We probably don't need help there, but what's the good fuel that makes the body run well? That fuel is basic food that you can grow in your gardens. Like, how about fruit? Fruit is huge on our bodies running well. Whether it's a banana, an orange, a grapefruit, an apple. Also vegetables. You may have some cauliflower, some broccoli, some lettuce, some kale, some spinach, some carrots. Those are great vegetables for us. And then we go over to the grains. We got oatmeal, we got grits, we got quinoa, we got couscous, and some of those are some names that you may not have heard before. The quinoa and the couscous are really good fuel for our bodies. Then we have our beans. We've got what we grew up here in the South is soup beans. What we grew up here in the South is soup beans per cup. And then we've got nuts and seeds. We've got Brazil nuts. We've got almonds. We've got walnuts. We've got pumpkin seeds. We've got flax seeds. All kinds of seeds and nuts that help to run the body. But here's a key. Cornell University, Cambridge University have both in their research found for the human body to live 15 years longer. Did you hear that, grandmas? You can have those grandkids 15 years longer, possibly, based on the fuel that you put in your body, according to the research done by Cornell University and by Cambridge University. Now, here's the key. Yes, they found that food needs to be a whole food, plant-based diet, but it has to have variety. So what is whole food? What is plant-based? What is variety? Whole food is not processed foods. Our processed foods are those cereals, those breads, those Twinkies, those donuts. That food is processed. And according to Cornell, according to Cambridge University, the body just doesn't run well on that. It's kind of like sticking a low-grade fuel in that race car, or maybe even some kerosene in some of those fuels. So you want a fuel that is not processed. So what's not processed? It's right here. Your banana's not processed. Your tomato's not processed. That food is what comes out of the garden, what comes off the tree. Plant-based. Plant-based is something that is a plant product. And we found through their research, it was a 20-some-year study. It's the most comprehensive nutrition study ever done, and it was done by Cornell and by Cambridge. And they found that a diet that has whole plant foods, such as the fruits, the vegetables, the grains, the nuts, and the seeds, the body runs, it's like 115% racing fuel. The other thing they found was it takes a variety, not just the same-o. You can't just every morning have a banana and an apple. Your orange is like the saxophone, and then your oatmeal is like the violin. Well, that's not an orchestra. You want an orchestra of nutrition. And so as each day you change that. Have some beans, some rice, some cooked vegetables, you may have some spinach or some cauliflower, a good salad, and again, you may have some nuts, you may have some flaxseed ground on there, you may have some almonds, some walnuts. That's a great dinner, or you may call a lunch. Well, what about supper? And when you eat lunch, it's going to increase metabolism, it's going to burn calories. Well, supper is a little different. You don't want as big a supper as you do breakfast and dinner. You want to eat breakfast like a king, dinner like a queen, and supper like a pauper, like we did on the farm when I was a boy. We eat a big old breakfast, a big old dinner, and supper we might have some watermelon, or we might have some popcorn, but very little. Because my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents found when you eat a big supper, you just don't feel as good. We actually find the food has a propensity to putrefy and ferment. Also, what Dr. Keim found, world-renowned physician who looked at the metabolism, he found that when around 2:30, 3 in the afternoon, our metabolism starts shutting off. So what we eat for supper, we actually have a problem sticking on here. I lost right at 50 pounds in 3 months by eating a good breakfast, eating a good dinner, and not eating after dinner. It's amazing what eating supper does to help you pack on that weight. Plus, you don't want that food to putrefy and ferment. But if you do want something for supper, make it easy. Maybe a smoothie or a light fruit or something like that. Again, if you want that good fuel, the best fuel to help the human body to run, according to Cornell University and Cambridge University, is that whole food, plant-based diet. Whole food, it's not processed, plant-based, fruits, grains, nuts, seeds, the vegetables, those are whole foods. But you want a variety. Don't have the same old all the time. You want different menus where you get different nutrients. I hope that helps you. Come back. We're going to take a look at some more very important keys for health.
Now, I did bring some food, some samples, if you folks would like to try. We have the lentils, we have the cream of broccoli soup, made some homemade einkorn bread for you. just to speak about the bread for a moment, back during World War II, they did something to the wheat in order to get it to last longer, so it wouldn't go bad so quickly. So to get back to the ancient grains that they call them, einkorn flour is a flour that we've been working with. There's the whole wheat, which is the brown one, and then there's the white all-purpose baking. So in this bread, I did 1 cup of the whole wheat and then 2 cups of the other. So you're welcome to try that. The broccoli soup. So everything here is plant-based, and I gave you recipes on several of them. And there's a book up here called Self-Heal by Design by Barbara O'Neill. She has many, many recipes in the back that dealing with lentils and other foods. And I've read through her the book, and I've watched her video lectures, and it's amazing how the body, how much better you feel when you feed it the right foods.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you would like, welcome to come on over and have something to eat before we get started with the next Yes, sir. Yeah.
It was in the first one. So these seeds, do you just eat something?
Internet's so-so. The internet's like up and down.
What I do with the nuts and seeds is I put them on top of the lentils. So if you want to take 2 bowls.
Sure.
It's okay.
They said last without electronics.
That smells great.
What's that? No, I did this time. Yeah, I gave it a try. So I figured that's my story, that if I can make it, then anybody can.
So you eat this for breakfast?
Yes.
Okay. It's like mashed lentil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, like you have cold cereal, you have the whole, or you can have
Sure.
so.
Straight ones, walnuts, love it. What's this one?
These are sunflower seeds.
Those are pumpkins.
Just don't do it. There's no point in knowing it.
Oh, you don't have to have them. That'd be great.
No, is that like,
Not even peanuts or anything like that?
I like peanuts.
They burn up.
I literally love like
Just kind of, yeah.
you're out.
Uncorn bread. Uncorn, like not corn bread.
Oh, good. And I did bring extra lentils with in case anybody wanted to bring some
Sure.
home to try to warm them up.
Looks great. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Where's your spoon?
Yes. Already right there.
Oh, right here. I interrupted that. Did you have a question? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you're busy,
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, that is the lentils, and that's the broccoli.
Yeah, the broccoli soup, yeah.
Okay, so now.
Like the easy ways of
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
It is the easiest way.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an easy way, but why would we have the
I thought I opened it right in the front. No, on the long way. No, it's right in the front there.
Yeah, but it's taped on the side.
Oh, here.
Stay on.
It's, yeah.
I mean, like,
Oh.
I have
We do.
I'm not throwing.
Sure. It always is.
You got that.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, it's real estate.
I've known you for a while. So I talked about he can stay in the house for free, but somebody needs to go ahead of time and get credit or
I think I'll do is maybe get a shot on the
I will
food.
give it,
I'll get a shot on the food.
when would be a good, probably the 1st of October, probably that thing.
Yeah. I've had, my wife makes a lentil soup. I've never had a mash.
Never had it before. Oh, no. I've always done lentil. Well, that's but
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Walt Ross.
all the time.
Is it?
Walt Ross.
Is it good?
now the ancient grains. Pretty much.
So you guys are in Prospect now?
Yeah, usually your health food stores or you can get it online.
I actually think Costco has some. I think
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I think you can some actually.
Okay, I'd never do that.
What do you think?
I'm not quite dried out yet.
Today is a soy but it is
Okay, never say never.
in a form
You
of
can eat
a.
turkey bacon.
Let me show. Easier to show
You
you.
like turkey bacon? What if it's non-bacon?
So you put this on the salad.
Fair enough.
It's almost like if you know.
That's Doreen.
Like chicken
Yeah.
substitute type.
But it's making it look together, but it's not.
Oh, okay. Is that listed in the Bristol?
I think I did it in natural.
Love it. Very cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, you want me to put a little salad together for you, or?
I have been,
I need it.
I found more than I need, but, you know, actually,
Can
it's
take
good.
some.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
try.
I think I probably
Those come back. Yeah.
They're like once a month.
But it's beautiful.
Yes, it's got a big dish.
Wow, I had no idea we were, this is delightful, I had no idea. Oh, good. So this is the, I know, yeah, that's the.
You know what's funny? I thought you said uncorned bread. I was happy with both of it. And
Oh, wow.
That, those are lentils. Oh, you just mashed them. Yep, you just
Yeah.
put them on the stove and they cook right down.
Well done.
You put, I put in, you don't recognize them anymore.
I roll, says it all.
I use coconut as the fat in it. And,
shit, that was
and turmeric. Yeah. Inflammation.
You know, that was a time my diet has changed. I remember
Yeah, that
the
would
first
be
thing
good.
I was born like
And are you
3 years ago. It was, you know,
On the, if you're heading, we
it was, you know,
on the, if you're heading, tomatoes, so would you like a salad?
Months and months.
So when you do the damage, it takes you a long time to do it.
Was this, what was the name of this thing that you bought? I can't remember.
That's the temple.
Okay, I know it wasn't tofu, it was something else.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one that you said you like, remember?
Yeah.
At church? Yeah.
And she was very active.
There is salad dressing if anybody wants. I wasn't sure what people were interested in or not.
30, 40 years. And because she was doing, I ordered that flour online, on my granddaughter, she had like $11 or $12
I brought it with me so you could see if you would like.
Because you got something to add.
I'll get you a fork. Is that a fork you have? Cool, I'll get you one. Thank you.
I was gonna ask her to shave it, and you got the Moral Market that happens once a month of more. It's all local.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah. She was gonna ask you, Debbie, about what you work.
I didn't know until right now.
Either the pigs are in
Yes.
that was, yeah.
I would like that.
Neighbors, big farm.
I can eat that.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's a lot of vendors that I think, I feel like.
Oops, I'm just
That's
gonna
all I
set this
can
here.
for my wife.
I like that. That's Debbie picked up.
It takes me.
I think when our son,
No, it's that long. It's like maybe an hour or something.
You are from Bucksport, that's Sandy Silver. Okay, cool. Are they selling that?
Best thing. She's actually having health problems. So, thinking with, I don't know if you know, Blood by Walgreens.
Oh, yeah.
They're no longer a restaurant anymore, they're just strictly Walgreens. Yeah, I said on their Facebook and I was like, I guess that's.
What a shame. That's where my son first learned to use it for. His first time before it was all kinds of down in North Carolina. Takes it and he just pops it in. They do have good food.
She got the lobster, macaroni and cheese without the lobster.
Oh, yeah.
And it was literally,
That's a good trick.
she couldn't even eat it all. She was just like, okay, she's like, you gotta do this.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
I worked, of course, at home during the pandemic. They were open the whole time, so we went into Glenn's quite a bit just to get out of the house.
So just if you want to.
I was really upset that the bar doesn't open.
in the box there?
No, those are just the flyers,
Oh,
and the other events are, but these books, you can take a look through.
The one that you mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's this one too, Councils on Health.
Broccoli bagels, what I do, make broccoli bagels. Different things you can do with broccoli.
So this is it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the one that is all.
Some people don't like broccoli.
So you can use it
Yeah.
for basically switch it out.
Listen, I don't eat bacon, but I'm pretty sure anything wrapped in
This one was Sunday, I did bacon wrapped chicken dinner.
Yep.
And it's like, I just want the bacon.
That would be the easiest.
So,
Yeah.
planning stuff. Do we need to just get down?
No, I want it to stay up.
Copy and paste.
Because the other side is.
Insert, wrap it in bacon.
I remember, I don't know if they did it here, but there was a thing.
Good health.
So this is.
Maple bars, bacon on it. Sounds like spoken about time. Maybe you like that's the gross thing I've ever heard.
Dinner already.
Well, what? I recently went to Kansas City and had the Kansas City Fair. And they had prize chickens, prize cows, prize pigs.
Okay, and this is einkorn flour that we made the bread out of.
14
You can get this.
Installed with a pig. And the pig is eating. It's just digesting it. And then I got a video of like, yeah, she lost half of her food. These anything. They wouldn't eat even one.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Hi folks, I just wanted to share with you, this is the einkorn flour that I was speaking about in regards to the bread that I made this evening. This is the all-purpose one, and they also make a whole wheat one. So I did 1 cup of the whole wheat and 2 cups of the regular, and put it in something called a cloak, which is what's it called?
It's a bread oven.
It's a bread oven. So, and it evenly bakes the bread. So, just something you might be interested in looking for if you're interested in making your own breads. So, thank you very much for joining us.
I don't like bacon, but I don't like bacon that much. But they even have bacon toothpaste.
And this is a better way to life. It's a healthy recipe cookbook. So this is something else that you might be interested in ordering. It'll give you different ideas for different recipes that you could use. And there's another book called Self-Heal by Design. This is by Barbara O'Neill, and she also is tries to help people with healthy lifestyle living. And she has many recipes in the back that you can try, like lentils, things like that, and talks about different issues like cancer and other health issues that might be helped by changing your diet. Thank you very much.
She got me curious.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. When do you leave back home, Leota?
Sunday.
Oh, tomorrow.
Oh, you
Back
can't
tomorrow,
go.
Sunday. In 2 days?
2 days.
You're
I
driving.
can't go.
You can't go. It's a hard time here.
Well, I have 2 dogs at home that are probably really missing me. My other daughter and my grandson.
Yeah, I can understand.
Did you fly? Are you flying or?
I'm driving. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had never seen
Probably
it
back
mashed.
Will you be?
I've never mashed it.
No, actually, we're gonna go to Ellsworth Church because that's where.
And mine's a little cold, it's still good, but I imagine like
years
it's
to make back.
warm and fresh, like oatmeal.
So.
Well, we'll see you when you're
Jim did it stop.
When you're coming back to
Yeah.
Don't know exactly for sure. Next year sometime. My daughter from here is going to come back for a few days and visit, and I don't know. Mostly what happens, you know. Yes.
Some people
Yes,
prefer
I
protein.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Sometimes I get a hard time making eggs, but I can.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Because I can't even keep track of all the stuff you're doing. I don't know how you guys keep track of it.
The
But
Lord gives us strength and ideas and, you know, we can do. Get people interested somehow, somewhere. One of those things somehow interested.
This is different.
There's a little barbecue.
There's a the secret. Is it the flavor that you don't like?
Jim, you said tonight you did that? You stopped tonight?
Well, I love goat cheese.
Can you do a speed test?
Which dressing do you like? Do you like that or do you like the lemon or the oil?
I like both, but I just wasn't sure.
Maybe he's doing it.
If you go to Bucks Square,
Yeah.
right there on the right.
There's more water?
Oh, I still have some right there. Thank you.
Just ate.
What's that? Oh, no.
Oh, yes, over there.
Okay. over here.
He does it fancy way.
I suppose, we say.
I just took off.
How's Johnny this week?
Perfect, he's been doing good. I think it was just one teacher, because another teacher came up and said, some teachers just don't recognize me, so, I think he's fine.
Oh.
Trouble or anything, so. Yeah. It'll happen eventually. I know it'll happen sooner rather than later.
Still 10:30, not that bad.
Yeah, because we also done like, they did English and they did Spanish.
Why did they do it?
They had a lot more
You
students.
deleted
I
everything?
can't wait for a phone call here first.
You deleted it, Jim?
One
No, I know that. You didn't take
Very
away from my
knowledgeable,
software.
very
That's the
personal.
podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That
I
doesn't
have
matter.
really good friends.
What matters is deleted from that.
I asked them, I said,
Like dense. I'm glad it isn't.
Oh, good.
I am a book person.
So introduce me.
Okay, this is
Ryan.
my, I don't say grandson. This is my son-in-law.
How's the food?
Oh, delicious.
So,
Pastor Joy.
so-
Carl Joy. I did two surveys.
Nice to meet you.
I am Doran's #1 person that pushes this thing.
Doran?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
I don't think you can pass, but I can't also think you push his paper.
He loves me so much, he always.
Actually, I wanted to put my chocolate file.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, it was nice
Appreciate it.
I got my pilot's license.
So you're getting that, fasting time through your sleep. So it's not like it helps me sleep better. I'm not, because if I eat late at night, my body still digests.
Yeah.
But there's a book out there you might want to take a look at. I don't know if I've shared it with you yet. Self-Heal by Design by Barbara O'Neill. It's worth getting a copy to read it, especially for my team. And you're wanting to live a healthy lifestyle. She's got recipes in the back. She has she explains she's a naturopathic doctor. She doesn't practice anymore, I don't believe, but she does a lifestyle center, which is very cool. So, yeah, she's got a lot to share.
Then I'll drop you off. My aunt was, her first husband was president of Connecticut chapter.
But for us, it's been a journey. I mean, we started when my son was probably about 5, 6 years old. Started changing our diet. We didn't think we had a bad diet. It started there, and then just progressively learn more and more, and then it really makes it easier. You can think that
1%.
Yeah.
already exhausted you. Because like blueberries and coconut are very beneficial for the brain. So that helps. So if you have that first thing in the morning, like
Yeah, they taught us how they line up
or
when they
something
do
like that, and you've got your walnuts are good for the brain. So you can have that there. And if you're thoughtful about each thing that you put into it, what you're cooking, the benefits that your body derives from it.
So you put an application, you help them.
Well, it's cultural.
Yeah.
Here it's like about 45 minutes away. And here it's like 15 minutes. There was one cover, and that goes about the documentary. There's one that says absolutely right now, and then that's how they got the clinical. 3 days a week.
I've taken a lot of training when I'm falling asleep. When I get that class, I glued to the edge of my seat. So I mean, they have pictures, inside the pedals, secure. It can't work so bad.
They sent me enforcers out to get the colors. And they take a knife, skin him, take those colors right off his back. Well, cut these ones. I tell you, nothing to fool around with. I didn't want to. I know the mothers, they used to,
I've heard of that one too. One day, they showed us that. Cut the skin right off the eyes. Cut the skin right off the eyes. And they bring it back to the president. Here's the color.
they were a lot tougher than regular games now. Like, you see, they're not thinking twice.
People are ready after we're done eating. Show the exercise.
Then they're going to show them how to exercise. Then they show them how to exercise.
How you doing? My name's Carl. I'll show you. Nice to meet you. So where are you from?
How much job? But you work at right now.
Down there. That place has changed a lot. Between Congress Street and 95, all the homeless people.
Oh, you think it's Portland?
Oh, you know that place in Portland?
No, Portland.
Oh, Portland, I'm sorry. That's a lot better than Portland.
Yeah, a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
Portland doesn't change too much.
No. Portland is pretty, I'm sorry, I heard Portland. What do you do?
Coach,
Because I told everybody.
What's up?
Yeah.
Coach, when you go?
Well,
leaders,
they are, but you know.
organizational.
Yeah,
Society.
very good.
Nice.
I liked that.
A lot of
You
teams.
did awesome, you did.
Well, I'm glad you're here tonight.
There you go.
Just by offering.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. 7:50? Okay. Everyone was good. 7:50? Okay. Everyone was good. So it goes back on the screen.
We'll see if it's on. Okay.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Our next video lecture that we're going to see by Walt Cross is in regards to exercise. So it's about 6 minutes long, and then we can discuss some of this after we've listened to the lecture.
So we got the volume.
You come.
So we've got those jobs working in the offices, in the stores, at the factories. We got to do that for work. But how do we get the exercise, the cardio? How do we get the resistance training? That's where exercise comes in. Dr. Walter Kintner, a scientist, a medical doctor at Duke University, back in the early 30s, he found that if we will exercise 4 times a day, the body works so much better. And we found that as we applied that to our patients at the clinic I used to work at, we found that if our patients would exercise 4 times a day, their bodies just run a whole lot better. It's kind of like we don't drink a glass of water just once a day. We drink water throughout the day. So if you can have periods of just short exercise throughout the day, it might be a 20-minute power walk or just stroll after a meal, your body just runs a whole lot better. And why are we talking about this? We're looking at how to prevent disease. Yes, you may have some disease that you want to address, and you can help reverse disease by doing this. But the big issue we're looking at here is how do we prevent disease? So how do we exercise? How can we get that cardiac exercise? There's a simple way of doing it, of where you just, whether you're walking, you're rebounding, you're swimming, you're cycling, you're rowing, and that's where you go 3 minutes fast, 1 minute slow. 3 minutes fast, 1 minute slow. It's called intermittent training. And that works extremely well. Now you can do it a little more highfalutin, where you take an Omron machine or something and you put it on your chest. You set the watch, you take 220 minus your rate, 220 minus your rate, so now that's the maximum heart rate. Then you do, say, start out 65% of that. And let's say 65% is 115. Then you want to get your target rate, which is going to be between 5 beats above that and 5 beats below. That's your working range. 5 beats above, 5 beats below, so that's 120. and 110. So you go out and you walk until you get up to how much? 110, and then 120, 120, and then you go slow until it comes back down to 110. I was walking with a fellow one day at the clinic, and we were walking, and we got up to say that 120, and we started strolling, so it would come back down, and I noticed his watch wasn't coming back down. And I said, well, let's just plumb stop. Let's just stop and see what's going on. And we stopped, and it still wasn't coming down. I'm thinking, what's going on? And I said, are you thinking back at home? This man was involved in business. His wife was back at home. Are you thinking about home right now? He goes, yeah. I said, did you see that squirrel over there? Look at that bird. Isn't it beautiful out here today? And boom, his pulse came right back down. So as you're out there exercising, be careful what you're thinking about, because sometimes that can keep the heart rate up because you're stressed about whatever it may be. So again, how do you do it with this intermittent training with the machine? Take 220 minus your age. That's the maximum heart rate. Start out with 65% of that. You can then go to 70, 75%. And let's say that target rate is 115. You go 5 beats above, 5 beats below. And you exercise in that range where you go fast until you get to the 120 and slow till you get the 110. And you just keep going back and forth. If you don't have that, it's real simple. Just go fast for 3 minutes, slow for 1 minute. Fast for 3 minutes, slow for 1 minute. It's kind of like working out with barbells. You just don't pump weight for 30 minutes. You do reps. And so this is kind of like reps. There's two major kinds of exercise. You got the cardiac, which we just talked about, and the other is resistance. And that is where you are using, say, some bands or some weights, where you're trying to do some resistance. If you don't have that, you don't have to go buy barbells. You can go and you can get some bags, say some several pound bags of beans, and you can use them and do some exercises with them. You can do. I've used 5 gallons of a gallon jug of water. It's 8.34 pounds per gallon, and you can move those back and forth, and that can be a resistant type. Or you can get some bands, and that works well. Again, for our cardiovascular system, which yes has the pump, exercise actually helps the cardiovascular system, and it also helps the lymphatic system. 2 very important things to keep our bodies good and healthy and prevent disease. See y'all back as we look at more keys to health.
So, I know it can be really challenging, especially living here in Maine because of the weather that we have in the wintertime and things. So one thing that my family and I did is we invested in something called a rebounder, which is a mini trampoline, and it's got a bar like this that you can hold on to. And we do the intermittent training, fast and slow. What we do is I've heard a naturopathic, Dr. Barbara O'Neill, and what we were following hers, because I don't think I could go 3 minutes really fast myself, but so we do a half a minute fast and a minute and a half slow, walking on the rebounder. And you do 6 reps of those. It takes you about 12 minutes to do, and it really, really helps get your cardiovascular rate up, and then you slow down. And 12 minutes a day, or like he's saying, if you do it 4 times a day, or if you get out and you go for a walk when the weather's nice, or snowshoeing, or, if you do go to the gym, you can work out there. So it's just vitally important not only to eat well, but we also need to exercise so that our bodies our blood can be pumping and purifying with the good foods that we eat and getting that exercise. So, because as we get older, it's harder to, some people to keep their balance. So if you do some, with the bands and things like that, it helps to strengthen your limbs, your hands. You go to reach something, oh, it's too heavy. But if you've got that exercise behind you, you're strengthening your arms, your legs, your cores. So it's vitally important that we fit that into our schedule some way to stay healthy. So, anyone have any questions or comments or anything that they'd like to talk about? Because I know we're ending our time here, but just wanted to open the floor.
Okay, so let's go back to food.
Yeah.
So we're talking about plant-based foods.
Yes.
But not all the plant-based foods are equal.
Correct.
So, in my opinion, organic food is not as close to the cleanest we can get, but it is the best option available for us.
Right.
And then, yes, organic food is a little bit more expensive, but do we need to have everything organic? So,
yeah.
there are things that there's a lot of research on it, and I, from my own experience and observations, have seen that are absolutely kind of mandatory to get organic. Number one is berries, and number two is all the fruit that you eat with the skin, like apples and grapes and cherries, all these things, if we have them, to be organic, because the industry, especially in the last 80 years, have changed. What we think it's a berry, it's not a berry anymore. It is treated multiple times with chemicals, and right now you're balancing the benefit of the berry, let's say blueberry with antioxidants in it and all this, you're balancing it with the toxins that are coming from the fertilizing and from the pesticides that they have to use. So your health is based on this balance instead of being, okay, you're eating an antioxidant, which is...
You're absolutely right.
So, but that's something that we don't talk much about, and yet it does matter.
It does.
I
There's something online called the Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you've seen it. So if you Google, there's something called Dirty Dozen. It talks about the top 12 fruits that they use a lot of pesticides on, that you should basically buy organic or not eat them because of the amount of chemicals that are used on conventional ways of growing. Yes.
I have that. It's by Dr. Jordan Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have that.
Thank
in
you.
this notebook.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Dr. Jordan Rubin. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
As well.
And so here in Maine, we do have lots of options, you know. I mean, Deborah was just sharing in Morrill that there are some farmers that get together, right? And they do, especially in the winter months, right?
Go all year round. Do you know about the Morrill Market?
I haven't been there for a while, but I used to go a lot.
So it means once a month. It's usually the first Friday of the month, from 4 to 6:30. I think the hours change when I go into the winter months. But anyway,
right.
I just went to the one in September, and they met at the Morrill Community Center from 4 to 6:30. And yeah, I mean, there might be a dozen people there with tables and their produce and flowers, and sometimes the kids are there making crafts. I mean, it's just great.
It sounds
community supported, whatever they're, and you know, they barter, accept cash, you know. It's a great community of folks. And so in the winter months they meet in the community center and the cold shoulder months. In the summer it's usually a farm just beyond the center. You'll see a line of cars alongside the road to get things.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah, so very much so. I mean, if we can buy organic, that's great. I mean, but if the Lord doesn't provide that in our area, I mean, in Maine, we're kind of limited to what we actually get for things that are grown right here.
Well, for Maine, they're very conscious about not using chemicals, so a lot of the ones that you buy at Hannaford's or local like Tozer's and everything else, they do it, even though it doesn't have an organic sign on it, chances are it's not fully has any pesticides in it, because just like in the winter time, how they don't use the liquid salt because it's not good for the environment. They're the same way when in the agriculture things too.
Yeah, there are health food stores. I know there's one in my area that I buy from. There's some farmers that it's just too costly to get that put on there, you know, that something's made organically. So they go by word of mouth with their farmers, trusting that they are not using these chemicals.
That brings back what we started talking before about the farmers market, because if you meet the people that produced it, you can just ask them. Most people, to be honest, we sprayed, but we sprayed at flowering,
Right.
and you can always ask them what they sprayed. But many of them are not certified organic because of the cost and the logistics. They are organic practices. And farmers are decently honest people that you can trust.
Usually, yeah.
So farmers markets is really good.
Yes, definitely. And if you can grow your own, that's even better because you know what you're getting.
Yes.
So. Well, I think this has been very enjoyable, beneficial. We've shared knowledge with each other, and it's just, we want to be healthy. So we're doing the best we can to implement these 8 laws of health. And the first 2 were food and exercise. And then our next Friday, the September 15th, we're going to be talking about the use of water and the benefits of sunshine. And so we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the foods that we were using, like the flaxseed, how that interacts with sunshine. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. I did speak with a couple of you about that. So again, next Friday here at 7 o'clock. So we hope to see you folks again, and if you would be so kind to share with people if you enjoyed what you heard here this evening, we'd love to have you folks come. So thank you.
Thank you for the food as well.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that broccoli's really good.
Oh, good. You guys are more than welcome to take some home if you'd like, so please feel free.
Would you share your recipe for the bread? Would you?
Oh, yes, yeah, next week I can bring that. I was in the midst of typing it up and needed to go get some lettuce, so I had to go.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll bring it next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's how you get us next week, huh?
That's the hook. No, I'll come back.
Good, I'm glad.
So then,